Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story, which comes from the Entitled People subreddit from a confused person and says, my ex demanded child support for a kid that is not mine. My mother and sister are on their side. Some years ago, I dated a girl. The relationship was bad. She was very controlling and abusive. It ended up really bad and we broke up. I kept on going on with my life, and after some years I got a decent job, enough to solve all my needs, have a comfortable life and make some savings. The thing is, a couple of months after getting my job, my ex contacted me. She first asked me to talk. I believe that she may want to reconnect or something, but she showed up with a 5-year-old child, claiming he was my son and demanding for child support. I didn't believe her, but the child age matched the time since we cut contact. I got advice from a lawyer, a friend of mine, to try and solve this out of the court. I offered to take responsibility, pay all the costs, and be an active part of the kid's life, only after making a DNA test. Everyone was okay with this except for my ex. She acted offended and demanded to just give her the money she deserved. She used all the excuses she could, even contacted my family to tell them I was trying to avoid taking responsibility of her child. When she runs out of excuses and the DNA test was finally made, and surprise, I'm not the father. She was so mad with the result and cried about the money, saying it was unfair and she deserved it, but she didn't accomplish anything. Moving on to the last week, there was a little party at my parents' house. My brother, a friend, and I were talking. My brother started to joke about the situation with my ex. My friend and I started to joke about it too. Some of our comments were a little dark and bad, but we were far away from the rest of the people. Literally, we were on the opposite side of the house, and nobody else could hear us. At least, that's what we thought. We were laughing like crazies when my sister appeared very angry and pushed me against the wall. She spied on us and heard our conversation. She was really mad. She started to yell at us about how horrible people were for mocking a poor woman. A few hours later, when the party ended, she asked me to go to the kitchen with our parents, and she started to say how awful I was for the previous situation. Apparently, my ex had been in contact with her, and she believed her version, and that was her way to have a intervention. My brother and I were like, "Are you serious?" When she started to say how I forced my ex into being a single mother, and that I have a moral obligation to help her. My dad only said that we maybe were being too cruel making jokes of her, but that I wasn't responsible for that kid. My mum then surprised all of us when she said, even if the kid is not yours, you are making more than enough money to support that child. You should have helped her. Since then, I've been receiving texts. My dad and my brother are on my side, saying I'm not responsible for her, but my sister is telling me how horrible I am for ruining their lives. My mum only said, "It's your decision, and I respect it. I'm just very disappointed that you ended up being so selfish." I'm aware that she doesn't deserve my money. I'm not planning to give her any, but the constant harassment of my sister trying to guilt me, it is just exhausting. I gotta be honest, and my first thought on this is like, if your mum and sister are that unhappy about it, they can start sending money if they really want to do that. I don't know how you're responsible for this. From what we've just read there, she was actively trying to lie to tell you that's your child, a life-changing thing to get money out of you. And I'm not sure I quite understand your sister's and your mum's thinking on this. Well, no, I don't understand it. But we're starting the comments with Comprehensive Win, who says, tell mum she is welcome to support her almost grandchild, and your sister should step up as well. The ex needs to go after the actual father, but apparently since the women in your family feel this woman needs support, they need to step up. This is not your responsibility, legally or morally. Brandy says, don't give in and start sending money. Once you do, it becomes a regular thing. The courts can look at it as you taking on a parental role and order you to continue. One of my husband's friends lived with a woman for about 5 years. Her kids were 3 and 5 when they got together. Their dad was active in their lives and he paid child support. When friend and his ex split, he was giving her money occasionally to help out because he still had feelings. She is the one that left. She got vindictive when she found out he was casually dating another woman. She took him to court for child support. Even though she was getting it from the bio father, the court said he'd played a parental role and that included financially. This happened back in 2019. He's been trying to get it appealed since, but due to the backlog, he's finally scheduled for court next month. They've been garnishing his wages for 3 years for children they are well aware are not his, but deemed had risen their standards of living, and he was obligated to maintain that. Fry1 says DNA test shows OP is not the dad, despite the time frame for conception being when OP was still with X. Rather suggests she may have been cheating. OP has no legal or moral obligation to support the child. X needs to go after the real father if she knows who that is. Off Kira says, I guess you better start calling all your exes, former classmates, neighbors, and every other woman you've ever been in contact with to ask if they are single mothers and if they want you to provide child support. If that sounds absurd, well, it is. It ain't your effing kid. Tell your mum and sister that a woman is saying this. Sisterhood is well and great, but this crap ain't it. And one more comment from Realistic Noise, who says, I would say to be safe and make sure that you didn't put your name on the birth certificate so the courts don't come after you. I know biologically that poor boy is not yours, though I have heard that some women out of spite, say if it's an ex-boyfriend that had money or something else, will put their name on the birth certificate as the father, and you could be on the hook. Contact your lawyer and ask this, because I'm not trying to say it to be paranoid, but you should consider that she might not be done, to try and ruin you or get money from you, and basically take over your life. So then OP does come in with a new update which says it's been a while. After my last post I read all the comments and decided to show them to my mother. We had to talk about the situation. Again, she started on my ex's side, but after reading the post and all the comments and opinions, she realized she was wrong. I think the thing that hurt her the most was all the doubts about if she cheated on my dad and I wasn't his son, and if that was the reason if she was on her side. We had a very long conversation. She told me that she believed my ex because she was always so nice and kind with her. That she decided to not believe me when I told her all the things she did to me during the relationship, because a good girl like her could never do something like that, so I must be lying. After that, she apologized to me, and we are good now. On the other side, my sister. At first she decided that she wouldn't talk to me until I'll take responsibility. But after some days I talked with her. She is totally on her side. Even after showing her everything, she said that none of that matters because a woman's word goes first, and that's all the proof anyone could need. Also, she said that even if you are not biologically the father, you have an effective responsibility with her, so you must be man enough to take charge of them and start acting like a real man. She was a lost cause. About my ex, I did some research and found out that shortly after we broke, she started dating another guy. Or maybe she was cheating on me with him before, I'm not sure. They broke some weeks later and she had multiple dates until she found she was pregnant. I also found that she had been trying to find a father to her kid for the last 2 years, and I was next on the list. But it looks like she is desperate now because she was never that aggressive with any other one before. So the reason of this post. Some days ago, my ex and my sister came to my workplace. They made a big sign with my face that says he abandoned his child and irresponsible father, and started a drama, saying all their bullcrap. Their intention was to shame me and use the social pressure to force me to take charge of them. They literally said it. So I don't make the story too long. They were taken out of the place. I got problems for that scandal. Even after showing all the proof and legal documents that showed they were lying, I was told that this better never happen again or I'll be fired. After that, I contacted my friend, a lawyer, and we are now redacting a very long and detailed paper against them. My ex and my sister too. They were too far. Now I'm going against them with everything. Maybe that'll scare them enough to leave me alone. And we do have another update to this post in a moment, but the first part of this update with your mum, saying that she didn't believe you because she was so nice and kind with her, and she just didn't believe you, so that you must be lying. I thought that was an absolute bullshit excuse, and I'm not sure I'll be able to look past that so easily, mum or not. That might be unfair to say. Maybe OP hasn't looked past that so easily. She said that she apologized and they're good now, but I hope he's, playing caution here. So OP comes in with their second update and says, "Hi everyone, and sorry for the lack of news. Last week's have been crazy with a lot of stuff, but I think now is a good moment to update you all. First of all, I'm not allowed to talk about the lawsuit. The most I can share to you is that my ex was extremely freaked out when she knew about it. She is now begging to drop it. She offered to take back everything she said, to never bother or even contact me again. She even tried to guilt me, saying that I would be ruining her and her son's life. But honestly, I don't care. I got tired of being the good guy a long time ago. She messed with me, now I'm fighting back. And for my sister, the lawsuit at first only made her worse. As her attempt to shame me in my job didn't work as good as she wanted, she moved it to social media, spreading her BS about me abandoning my child or not taking responsibility and exposing my legal actions like acts of censorship and misogyny. But at the end, it will be worse for her. Not only because I can dismiss her defamation easily, but also is more evidence to our favor. Anyways, this is going to be a long road, and we are just beginning. Recently, we had a posada at my parents' home. Every year, we use this as an excuse to make a big family party before Christmas. I had my doubts because I didn't want to be near my sister, but after some relatives assured me that she wouldn't be there, I decided to go. Big mistake. She was there. Mum decided that despite everything that had happened, I was taking all this too far, so she wanted all us to meet to solve this problem as a family. I tried to get out of there the moment I realized what she was intending, but some relatives tried to stop me while Mum cried that I needed to stop, that I was tearing apart the family and needed to learn to forgive and let go. I realized that despite everything, even knowing I was telling the truth, she was still on my sister's side. I got out of there, telling her that I'm not attending any family event again if she is there, and to not think of ever trying this BS again. At this point, almost all of my family knows what she did. Some of them think my sister is crazy, some others think that she is crazy, but I'm taking it too far. A couple of days ago, Mum invited me to spend Christmas with them. I didn't want to go after what she did, but I decided to give her a chance after she swears that wouldn't happen again. But not only she had planned to do it again, my brother warned me that this time she intended to lock me in until I forgive my sister and stop the nonsense. I called my mum and told her I knew and that I was done with her and my sister. They don't talk to me until she realized she supported the wrong person and to apologize. I don't need to say how many times she tried to call me the following hours and all the drama she had made when I didn't show up for Christmas. But again, I'm tired of being the good guy. So that's it for the moment. Hope all of you had a nice Christmas, and I wish for you a happy and drama-free new year. I do wonder what Mum's plan was with locking him in and trying to get him to drop the case and whatever, because it certainly sounded like the sister wasn't changing her mind regardless of what happened. It sounded like she was going to continue to run this campaign of, bullcrap against OP. And I think OP's already given them too many chances already, and I think it's time. And I know it's always difficult, but that contact has got to be dropped surely. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. And our next little story was a suggestion from a cheeky little so-and-so over on Twitter. Dewey, you know who you are. And it's from the user WholeElk697 from the True Off My Chest subreddit. Does have an update as well. Titled, "My boyfriend is going to cry. I don't feel bad about it. In fact, I'm excited." First off, on a random note, good luck to everyone who is in finals right now. I'm procrastinating studying for my final by writing this. I'm just so excited that I need to tell someone about this. I've been with my boyfriend for a little over 3 years now. I don't even think there are words to describe how I feel about him. My life changed in an unimaginable way when he entered it. There is no one on the planet that could ever make me feel the love I feel when I look at him. I never thought I would find someone who treats me this way or that I even deserved a partner like him. He never fails to remind me that he thinks about, loves, and adores me. The other day, he made a passing comment that any experience he has ever had is always so much better if my presence is there. So, my boyfriend is a huge fan of Legos, like massive. He always buys smaller sets from Target and builds them in his free time to relax. Anytime we go to the mall, he always wants to walk around the Lego store just to marvel at the big sets. He can afford them, but he's the type not to spend money on himself. Every time we go in, I always catch him staring at the Star Wars Cantina set. He always talks about how one day maybe he'll muster up the courage to put the $400 down and fulfill his dream. But he won't have to do that. I just ordered it off the Legos website. Because I spent more than $150, I get a small Santa set. So what my plan is, I'm just going to gift him the Santa set and When we are alone, I'm going to surprise him with the cantina. He has done so much for me this year, and I can't imagine not giving this to him. So yeah, he's going to cry, but I'm excited about it. Thanks for listening. And this sounds absolutely lovely so far, so I'm excited to see how he reacts in the update. But when anyone ever talks about Star Wars Cantina music, does anyone else get the song in their head?
If you have any requests, shout them out. Play that same song. All right, same song. Here we go.
And I gotta say, I love people that have hobbies like this, like building hobbies or crafty hobbies, where they keep displays in collections. I once talked about, I love like the train sets that people keep, where they like have like the realistic models and they paint them and they create like scenes and stuff like that. And there was a Twitter user, I won't mention their name, but they sent me like pictures of their dad's model set, and they had Forrest Gump on a bench and stuff like that. They had movie scenes going on. I thought it was incredible. So if you're one of those people, don't forget to send me some pics. Anyway, we're going to move on to OP's update to find out what happened next. So OP updated a month later and says, "Hi all, sorry for not updating sooner. I know at least one of you was interested in one, but I wanted to enjoy the time with my boyfriend. One small thing to mention before getting into the update is that I ended up going back to the LEGO store and buying the Boba Fett throne room set to match the cantina because I knew he wanted it. And well, why not? Lol. If some are interested, I may even post updates as he builds it. He's already completed the Boba Fett throne room and has started the cantina set. So on to the update. We did our normal gift giving with the family, and I ended up putting the throne room under the tree, which he lost his crap when he opened it because he's been talking about that set for a while. After everyone settled down after gift giving and started to eat and watch Christmas movies, I asked him if he could help me do something upstairs quickly. When we got upstairs, I told him I'd forgotten to put something under the tree. When I pulled the box out from under my bed, he looked confused and started to unwrap it slowly. When he had pulled the paper back and saw the words Mos Eisley Cantina, he stopped moving for a few seconds because I don't think his brain was even fully registering what was in front of him at the time. His eyes started watering slightly and he kept saying things like "no way" before he started grinning and tearing all the paper away. He started hugging me and kept asking why I would spend so much money on him, and I told him it was because I loved him and wanted him to be happy. He went through a mixture of jumping in excitement, hugging me and crying for a few minutes. He kept talking about his plans to clear out the shelf behind him and put it on display in his work background. He then ended up surprising me by saying he had also not put something under the tree because he wanted to have it be an intimate moment between the two of us. He went into the closet and was laughing about how he'd put it on the top shelf because he knew I wouldn't be able to reach it or see it. I'm very short, lol. When he came out, he was holding a tiny box, and when I opened it, there was a beautiful diamond necklace inside, which obviously made me cry like a baby. After he put it on me and we shared a nice moment together, kissing and hugging, I told him that I purposely saved the points I got from buying the sets so he could get $50 off his next LEGO set. He told me he wanted to get me a set so he could spend the duration of building his set, while I also built a set next to him. He's always really cherished building a set with me or building one at the same time as me. So over the weekend, we went to the LEGO store, and despite me saying I was really happy with a smaller set I would build slowly so I wouldn't finish before him, because I felt bad since he bought me a literal diamond necklace, he insisted on getting me a big one and bought me the Bowser since he knows it's one of my favorite characters. We had a great Christmas and have been having a lot of fun having designated building time together, lol. Thank you for all your sweet comments. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday as well. Extra points for Bowser being your best character. And when I was in London over Christmas and I was posting the pictures of the Christmas lights and stuff, went into one of the stores to have a little look around, you know what it's like, and his Hamleys, and they had that Bowser there out on display, and it was a pretty cool thing. I tempted myself, but I wouldn't know where to put it these days. Oh, and before we do wrap this one up, I was mentioning about people building sets earlier. I know there's a lot of Warhammer builders out there as well. Don't forget to send me pictures of those. I love that sort of stuff. Anyway, thank you so much for being here today, getting involved in the stories. Let us know your thoughts if you do have a moment of your time to share them. Just a huge thank you for being here today. As I always mention, spending 20 minutes or so of your time out of your day is absolutely incredible. Thank you so much, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast. brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day. Okay, I know that today'll be a good